music only stops when I push. Don't you love the choice? So this is Mahubi, this is Oost-Eind, the principal of the lovely, lovely school that gave us Carly, and Chris Oost-Eind from Liberty. Who's going to control this? Do you want me to control? Are you a good start?
I'll keep Roxanne honest. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. We've got the privilege of presenting our partnership to you this afternoon. So, first thing, I want to introduce you to my partner, Roxanne Reddy. I met her when she started her second year at the biggest primary school in Pretoria, Pretoria Oost-Eind Primary. They have only 1,689 kids, and they're only 120 years old, and they have 78 teachers and staff. So that is sort of a background to Oost-Eind.
I don't look as old as I am. I'm not 120 yet. This is my partner, Chris Oost-Eind. We are covering the long and the short of life. I'm glad you got that one. Chris is my partner from Liberty, and we've had a fantastic journey that we've taken together. And Chris is going to balance off this juggling act with me.
Okay. So we started off, we met in December of 2015, and Roxanne took me for a walk through the school. I know we were at one of our meetings there as well, and what impressed me was the facilities of the school. It is in the center of town, but I had this perception I'm going to do vegetable gardens and build schools, but everything was there already. And then we met the SMT, and I was immediately impressed by the quality of the leaders in the SMT. However, all the people didn't pull in the same direction, so we started off with an exercise by goal setting and determining what's the SMT sort of state of mind and what do they want to achieve. And we came up with a few challenges.
The challenges that we identified was that we needed to have a shared vision. If we could pull together in one direction, we'd be a stronger school. We also found that teacher absenteeism had been a problem we'd inherited over the years. Literacy, there were not enough resources in terms of reading upliftment programs for the learners. The facilities were there, but not being utilized. We found change management to be a problem. Obviously, me being a new introduction, my management style was slightly different, and we needed to get to the point where I could change my management style to meet the needs of the school, and my SMT and I could see everything in the same light as each other. We also found that parent and community involvement, as I'm sure many of the other principals would identify with, as being one of the key problems we were facing. We needed parents on board, we needed their feedback, and we were struggling because we could not get to that point where we had our parents telling us exactly what we were doing right and what we were doing wrong so that we could better the school. We then went into zoning in on our problems, and we identified the following focus areas that needed intervention. The first one, as we mentioned, being the school management team, or the SMT. There were a series of workshops that Chris managed to organize for the school's SMT, where we sat down with an industrial psychologist and we did a Myers-Briggs, and we did lots of fantastic soul searching and fault finding within ourselves first. This took place with the SAW analysis. We then felt once we had done the SAW analysis, which seemed to jump out at all of the SMT members. So I will talk in a bit more detail about the SAW analysis that we went into. I definitely learned a lot about myself during that process. It cascaded down to the rest of the staff, and the aim was to motivate the rest of them to also start sharing a vision, creating that vision so that we could move the school in a particular direction that we wanted the school to move in. When we looked at the SAW model that we investigated with Peter van der Merwe from Liberty, we identified what our strengths were. Now, the SWOT analysis is a little different from a SWOT analysis that many of us are familiar with. It takes the positives in an organization and puts a spin on it. So we identified the strengths, being that we had good relationships with the department, the school was easily accessible, policies and structures were in place, even though we found follow-through was not there. We had the infrastructure, those being the key aspects that we needed to get the school going. We looked at the opportunities that we had. Because we were such good liaisons with the Department of Education, we could actually move forward in terms of establishing better relationships. Because of our centralized location and infrastructure, we were host to many schools and departmental ventures, and that served in our best interests. We then looked at what we aspired to be. We looked at the morals and values the school wanted to impart to learners, so that if one had to look at a learner or an educator or a parent, the term Oost-Eind would mean something. Good values, good morals, respect, tolerance, honesty, good solid values. We started going into this, we cascaded through to the staff. The results is where we stand right now. We have a shared vision as a staff. Our learners are exposed through a diary, through assemblies, through constant interaction with them, the basic values of the school, what we want to do, where we want to go. The SWOT analysis, in my opinion, has taken us from a school where the SMT and the staff, we all were pulling in different directions, to a staff where anybody can walk into any one of the offices and gladly share an idea, and it's openly accepted, thrashed out, and a good solution can be found.
So I'm going to sort of end off of my perception of the benefits of this program. What I really enjoyed is when I joined this program, I had a view about the education system of South Africa and what the problem was. Well, my perception was a bit wrong. I was really impressed with the quality of the leaders that was in our group and the effort and commitment and sacrifices they make to their pupils. I also enjoyed our development sessions and the things I can translate back to my business. And I really appreciated Mauritian's patience and also our interactions we had as a triad, but also our individual sessions. So thank you for that.
Benefits of the program on my behalf. Again, I'd like to thank Mauritian for being so patient with us. We were a very difficult team, Chris and myself, very busy people, always running around. The benefits for me was that I learned to realize that as a leader, you are nothing without your team. And if you don't share a vision and get buy-in of that vision, you will never be a leader, because it does not take one person to be a leader. It takes a team to make you a leader. I've learned from Chris how to be strong. My stature lets me down now and then, but I've realized I don't have to use my voice. I need to learn how to create a culture, which my partner has taught me is how Liberty is such a success. I've created a culture, and I know that my team is going to be a success. Thank you very much, PFP.